What if I whispered in your ear that your business growth tactics are charming, yet they're barely scratching the surface of what is possible? Imagine not just doubling, not even just tripling, but imagine growing your business by 25 times of what it is right now. Now, I want you to be skeptical, but I don't want you to click away just yet because I want to show you the exact model as to why my business partners pay me so much money for me to be able to grow their business so quickly. And I'm a believer that the proof is in the pudding. Yummy pudding, yummy proof. And you can see right here, this business was able to add $566,000 in just 1 month using the exact model, the exact frameworks that I'm going to be showing you in this training. And you can see here in this new coaching business that we launched, we collected $177,000 in cash in just the very first 30 days with no ads, no funnels, using the exact framework, the exact system that I'm going to be showing you in this training. Now, before I show you this model, I want to give context to everything because what I'm actually going to be teaching you in this session is actually just a small slice of the pie of a much larger model that I call the $1 Million Made Man. Inside the $1 Million Made Man model really comes down to 3 critical things I believe that we need to be able to live a successful, meaningful, fulfilling life at the end of the days. And it's truly coming to understand, firstly, your identity, then it comes to your values, and then your virtues. Because when you have these 3 elements together, not only is it able to give you really easy the ability to make decisions, go after meaningful goals, and be able to have meaningful relationships in your life, you'll be able to have that inner peace within yourself, but also externally be able to create the life and success that you really want. And you'll see that one of the virtues inside the $1 Million Made Man model is wealth. And wealth I break down into 3 critical aspects. One of the aspects is this quantum leap model, that it really comes to first understanding that we need to actually be able to, firstly, we need to make it, we need to then grow it, and then we need to give it. So we need to learn how to understand how do we make money first, and that's what I'm going to be showing you in this session. Secondly, we need to know how to actually be able to grow it as well. This is going beyond just actually cash producing, money making into wealth creation. And then after wealth creation, I really believe that we then need to give it. We need to be able to make the world a better place than we first actually found it. So with that out of the way, let's actually understand the basic math behind this at the end, because you might say, grow a business by 2,560%, Chris, and that little skeptical voice comes into your brain. That's perfectly fine. The math is really simple, and if I can understand this math, I know you can too. Essentially, this model is based on 8 key elements inside of a business. When I walk into a partner's business, when I walk into any business, there are going to be these 8 key elements that I look at, and that we just want to grow each of these 8 elements just by 50%, which is why we're able to create businesses growth by 25 times in the next 12 to 24 months from where we're at today. And so the math is simple. If we're able to have a 1.5x growth in just 1 element, we multiply that over 8 elements compounded together, we are able to achieve 2,560% growth. All right, enough foreplay. So let's strap yourself in, get rid of all distractions, and let's go through this because I truly, truly think this is going to be game changing for you. So to understand this model, it's really simply, we need to understand how to break this down into 8 different components of the business. And you'll see that my art skills come into play. And what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to first look at lead generation. So step number 1 is we want to look at how do we increase leads in the business. And to understand that, we need to understand that we're really just trying to get people that don't know you to know you. And we need to be able to have a system that is going to be replicatable, duplicatable, predictable, so that you can put your head on your pillow at the end of each night knowing the leads have come in for the day and leads are going to be coming in tomorrow as well. So we want to look at what are the actual systems, the functions, the process, what's the messaging, what's the hooks, what's the actual promise that you're making to the marketplace for you to be able to increase lead generation. The next step that we go to is we want to be able to actually increase conversions. I had a really interesting conversation with a coaching business just a few days ago that does a few $1 million a year. They got on the call and they go, Chris, our leads suck, our ads suck, it's not working, we need to be able to focus on our leads because we're not getting the sales that we want. I got a little bit skeptical and I pulled the onion apart. What I found was by actually going through the data, I found that it wasn't their ads that were the problem at all. It was their sales pipeline was the problem. They were just absolutely burning through leads day in, day out, and costing them a lot of money. So by increasing the conversions, we're looking at what is the actual system between what needs to happen to be able to get someone that does know you, but how do we actually nurture that lead? How do we put them into a selling process? And how do we make sure that they're then able to get them to say yes, to be able to give you their credit card details, take payment, and then put them into the onboarding process? But in the first section of this entire 8-model quantum leap, there is one more that we need to look at in what I call, and this is actually going to be increase transaction size. A lot of the case, a lot of coaches and consultants especially kind of come into the game and they look at the competitors. They look at what everyone else is out there doing in the marketplace, and they might charge a little bit more or a little bit less, or they kind of go in the middle and the same, and it just turns a little bit vanilla, a little bit beige. No one likes beige. And what we want to be able to do is, how do you actually increase the transaction size? How do you make sure that your clients can pay you more for what's happening? And to do that, you've actually got to understand can you add more value without necessarily adding complexity or drag upon the operations and delivery upon the business as well. Now, increasing transaction size in some cases, to be brutally honest, just actually means the salesperson is going to say a higher number than what they were doing before. But in most cases, it actually comes down to understanding how do we essentially get the client that's coming on board to be able to achieve the result in a faster, more simpler process for them. So these first 3 slices of the pie, this section here is what I call acquisition. This is what we need to be able to first understand. And when working through this model, if I even did not sit down with you, you can just take this exact model and just work with it clockwise around. You're going to start with how is it that you're going to increase lead. Then you're going to look at your conversion process. Then you're going to look into how is it you're going to increase transaction size. But really importantly, we don't stop there. We need to continue moving around this wheel. Now, this next step is extremely prevalent. What we have to do here is we have to decrease churn. Quite literally, this morning, I had a call with a coach that for the past 12 months has been having a 1-in, 1-out scenario. Pretty much they make one sale and they'll lose another client. They have not grown and they've stayed stagnant for over 12 months by doing this. And in so many cases, I truly believe, if you take anything right now, maybe just take this one little nugget I want to share with you. The easiest way for you to double your business is to halve your churn. You need to be able to look at what is it that you're doing? How do you better serve your clients in the capacity so they feel the love? How do they make sure that they're seeing that they're actually getting the results? How is it that you are delivering what it is that needs to get delivered for them to have a world-class experience with you? So then once we've looked at decreasing churn, what we then want to be able to look at is we actually want to increase the offers that we have in the marketplace right now. The easiest way for you to be able to understand this and to be able to apply this in your business is think about your clients right now. Think about all the problems that you are solving in your current program, in your current course, in your current whatever it is that you're actually doing to help them. And then think about what are the other problems that might be arising. In typical situations, when a client first comes to you, they're going to come with one specific problem that you're helping to solve them. But what's going to happen is by you actually helping them through, they're going to have other problems that they're going to have as well. So how can you solve those other problems? How can you increase the amount of offers that you actually have inside of your business? Because this is going to increase the lifetime value of your clients. This is going to increase the profit and how much money you can put in your back pocket. And essentially you can increase the amount of aid and help and value that you're truly giving to the people that you really want to serve. Okay, so we've gone through the model so far. There's 3 more slices to this pie that we want to get through, but there's one more slice to this pie, this main section that I'll explain in just 1 second. And what we want to do here is we actually want to increase TAM. We want to increase the total addressable market. Now, let's just say, for example, with my last coaching company, before we sold it, I was serving personal trainers that wanted to transition and grow an online business. Now, for me to increase TAM, I could have said, all right, I'm serving personal trainers. Maybe how could I serve physios or massage therapists or health and nutrition coaches? You can see how I can start to expand the people that I'm able to serve. And we're looking at what's the total addressable market. Now, I want you to go a little bit deeper. I know you're a smart cookie, you're with me for a reason, and so I'm gonna make sure that you can stick with me all the way through. And this really comes down to who is it that you can actually serve? Who is it that you can get in front of? Who is it that's going to be capable of actually paying you money for what it is that you're doing? That's your addressable market. And we want to see how can we then start to increase them? Because you can start to see this compounding effect. When we increase leads, when we increase the conversions, then we increase the transaction size just through this acquisition side of the wheel, when being able to make sure that your profits are skyrocketing just from here. By decreasing churn, we've had a massive lift in the amount of profit because we're now increasing the lifetime value. By increasing the offers and what it is that you're serving out into, again, we're able to increase lifetime value of each of those clients and profits. Now by increasing the TAM, the total addressable market, we can then now to add on more to what is happening. And this is where we start to look at how do we really start to increase our reputation in the marketplace. We've looked at acquisition. Now we've gone through and increasing the reputation as to what's happening in the marketplace. And there's two more pieces to this pie. Now, before I go into this, I really want to make a firm stance right now. I believe that we've gotten into business for a couple of key basic reasons. One, we've initially gotten into business because we want to take care of ourselves. I don't know about you, but for me, I really got into business because I wanted to make sure that I could have the money to do what it is that I needed to be able to do, and especially to be able to serve my family as well. We also got into business because we want to be able to love the work that we do, but we want to be able to impact and help and serve people doing the work that we truly love also. And in this day and age, I see behind the scenes of a lot of very high businesses. A lot of businesses doing very big numbers. A lot of businesses that a lot of people, and this might include you, that you put on a pedestal and you think these people are doing absolutely amazingly. But is that the truth right now? And what we really care about, because so many people are saying, hey, this is how much money that we shared. Before, when I shared with you the example of the $177,000 cash collected in just the first 30 days of a coaching business, that is run off a 97% profit margin as well. That is basically all profit that we've been able to collect through that. And this is what I want you to think about, because this last section that we're talking about right now, this is all about how are you going to ensure you maximize your profits? How do you maximize the amount of money that you're putting in your back pocket, hair-free for you to be able to use? This isn't big numbers of top-line revenue. We're not even going to be talking about how do you make sure you increase or decrease the amount of tax that you're paying and all of these other things. And the two basic ways that we're going to do this is, one, we're really actually just going to look at how do we increase profit, looking across all the different areas of your business and where are you leaking money right now? Where are you spending money that you should not be spending that isn't actually adding to each of these areas that we've gone through? If you're spending money inside of your business that isn't actually key and critical and needed for you to be able to make sure that you're building out the acquisition side of your wheel and the reputation side of your wheel, you need to cut it out. So very typically I sit down, I look through a P&L sheet, I look through the income and the expenses of a business, and then we start to peel through each row of what's going on. We look at, well, is this needed? And by far, the very, very vast majority, because I don't want to talk in absolutes, but the vast majority of the time, we're able to increase profits really easily to make sure this is happening. But to make sure that you can put your head on your pillow at the end of each evening, to be able to sleep soundly, to look forward to the day ahead, there is one more thing that we need to be able to do. And this is, we need to be able to increase operational efficiency. We need to increase the amount of ease that you have inside of your business, the amount of flow that is happening for yourself, your team members. Far too often, I've got to be perfectly honest, so far just this year, I've clocked up over 120 hours talking with entrepreneurs and coaches doing between $1 to $10 million a year. And I swear to you, so much of the time that their businesses are causing them so much angst, so much stress, and there is not the operational efficiency. This is the thing that's going to make you feel good about what's going on. We want your business to feel like it's operating like clockwork, because when we do this, that means everything else is going to work so much easier. In a little secret, what I see is once we actually include better operational efficiency as to what's going on, all of these bump up even more. So if we were just looking for a 50% bump in leads, conversions, transaction size, decrease in churn, increase in offers, and being able to increase your TAM, by increasing operational efficiency, these start to increase without doing anything extra because the business is running the way that it's supposed to. So often, out of the 120 plus hours of consulting calls that I've done this year with these businesses, is I see that these businesses are having B players with C systems and they're expecting an A result. So all we need to be able to do is lift it and to be able to have better systems on board, and then we're better able to empower the team to be able to use what's needed for you to be able to increase efficiency. So when you look at this right now, you build out your acquisition wheel, you build out your reputation wheel, you build out your profit wheel, and now we're able to have a very simple system. So from here, there's two ways that you can look at this. You could just work clockwise around and do it in that fashion, or you could give yourself a bit of a traffic light self-assessment. You could go, right, red, the system is not there, it's not working, it's not doing what it's needed. Orange, the system's there, but it's not producing great results. You know that you really need to level it up. Green, it's working, it's doing its job, and you know you can have your hands off and you are happy with how it's working. And then you can just go around the wheel, give yourself red, oranges, and greens, because then you want to be able to work on the key critical parts. Because the only reason, I really truly believe, the only reason that partners come to me and they pay me so much is because I'm able to give them two things. I'm able to give them the confidence and that they're going to be working on exactly what's needed, because I'm able to find the constraint in the business that is happening right now. We find that key constraint and then we install the system to be able to solve it. But importantly, we do the right thing. We have the confidence of doing the right thing, but in the right sequencing. If you're doing the things in the wrong sequencing, you could be doing the right thing, but because it's not in the right order, then it's not going to get you the result at all. And so this is why we want to look at what is it that you need to be doing inside of your business, doing the right thing, and making sure that you're doing it in the right order as well. This framework alone, being able to share this with you, brings me so much joy, because this thing has grown a lot of businesses by a lot. And I know that you're going to be able to apply this. I know that you're going to be able to use this and to be able to grow your business by so much more by using a simple, effective framework. I appreciate so much you being able to join me in this training of me being able to share the Quantum Leap method for you. This is something that has helped me grow so many businesses by so much. And so if you want to be able to have more of these strategies, more of these frameworks and models for me be able to share with you, then I highly suggest that you subscribe, because it would be a huge bummer for you to miss out on everything else to come, because this is just the start of it. There is so many more, because really the understanding is, number one, we started this having this model just now as a framework from the larger $1 million made man model. But then what we have to do, we have to actually go in to each of these 8 slices and know exactly how to execute them. And that's what we're going to build out in future episodes coming together. So I appreciate your time and I appreciate you being here with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.